I wanted to do a video on roses and their uses magically and medicinally. I'm also going to discuss using other parts of the rose bush as well, such as the thorns and the stalks or the little branches off of them. Um, if you've used roses before in magic, usually it's used for love, but I know you can use them to increase psychic powers. You can use them for seduction spells, for love spells, to bring peace in the home. They're all sort of interconnected. The little things you can do with them. There's not much else other than that I can really think of. I know you can use rose hips in. I think you can use them protection spells, but luck spells as well. So roses are good for luck and protection. And I have here from one of my rose bushes the dried stem with the rose with thorns on them. This one's pretty big. This is from an older one. My friend actually has a rose bush in her yard. I think it's an American Beauty that's 20 years old, so I'm hoping to get some thorns from her as well to use. And I use those in like defensive magic and protection spells. I usually put them in a witch bottle because I don't want to like crush them or burn them or anything, because I like the idea of if somebody's sending something, it's going to hit the thorns and it's going to prick them. Or if you're sending the magic sort of in a way, depending on what sort of spell you're using, you can send these thorns to somebody basically and prick them in the butt with it. I usually use mine in witch bottles. I guess you could use them to pop it, but I'd be careful handling it because if you squeeze it or something, you might get pricked yourself. You don't want your blood on that poppet. Well, you might, I don't know. So we have the rose thorns and the stems, and then I guess if you're using the stalks, or the, whatever you want to call these things. I call them stalks, the branches or whatever. If you have a thicker one, they dry and they're fairly strong. I mean, you can use it as a wand if you want to. You can't really sand it or polish it because the inside's kind of, reminds me of like a sugar stalk or like bamboo. It seems like it splinter really easily. So you can always use that, and I'd use that in protection magic actually more than I would think so of love and romance. Because it seems like when I think of roses, the petals and everything are what I think brings love because they're so beautiful and they're sweet smelling. And the stalks are more, I mean, you go and take care of the roses. Everyone who has roses knows that you're going to get pricked basically unless you're like fully covered up. My friend was talking about when she was tending her roses that she was full of holes basically. So I don't really see them as like being able to focus, using them to focus like a love spell or something, or in a ritual. I see them more as a protective thing. The stalks, if you want to use them as a wand. And then the rose petals, you can use them dried. You can powder them and make them into an incense. I know there's some edible roses, so you can use them in your cooking. And actually with rose water, you can use in your cooking if you're using edible roses. I just made some rose water, home distilled. But it's from a variety of garden roses. I don't think they're edible. I gotta check which ones are edible. So here's the rose water I just made. I'm selling these. I only have 2 bottles right now that I'm selling. So I used home distill process with that. And you can find those videos online because they're not hard to do, but I'm not going to sit here for like half hour and explain how to do it. But basically you just need a big pot, and a little pot, and a brick, and water, and lots of fresh roses. And there's a little bit more to that, but with mine I added a little bit of witch hazel to help keep it from getting icky. I never had a problem with it getting icky before, but I just want to make sure if I'm going to be keeping this for somebody or sending it to someone, I don't know how long they're going to keep it. And I added extra roses at the end, and a couple other little things during the distilling process, because I know it's not going to be, mine were edible, so I know nobody's going to try and drink this or use a libation or anything. But they all correspond to everything that's with it. It's mostly roses though. Yeah, like 90% roses that I've used as extra magical ingredients along with the distilled water and everything. You can use that to increase psychic powers. You can use it to clear away negative energies in your home. I put them in spritzers so you can spray them. I sprayed on myself, and it smells pretty good. It's not like a super strong lingering scent, but it stays for a while. I sprayed on my sheets when I clean my sheets to bring like love and everything to the home. Yeah, sprayed on your room for love. If you really want to focus it, you could use it for like seduction or like a sex sort of spell for a relationship, but I don't really, I'm not going after that right now, so that's what I'm using it for. So peace, psychic powers, luck, and it is cleansing and protecting at the same time. because it does grow from the stems that are thorny and everything, so I can see it as everything together. And also, let's see, medicinally speaking, I know that you can use like a rose water, like as an astringent sort of thing. Use roses as an astringent, and that people once, I guess, I don't know what type of roses. It just, when I've researched it, it just says red roses, that they've dried and powdered them, put them in pills, and it was good for hemorrhages and uh, things with the lungs. But I'm not sure if that's still in use today. I know that was quite a bit ago though. And also, there's a lot of different liquors made of red roses as well. A lot of these things can, I guess, I don't know what the difference is between the different rose colors, but I think red is used for most of the things that I've read about for curing things. Cold cream is actually supposed to be known as like ointment of the rose or something, and there's supposed to be roses in there, which I did not know until recently when I started studying roses again. Um, you can also make a rose vinegar for if you've been in the sun a lot. I should really make this because I get sick in the heat and in the sun, and I live in sunny San Diego, so that's every single summer I get sick. Basically spend my summer uh, wishing it was fall and winter, and my birthday's in summer, so it's kind of like the only option is a pool party. Stay in the water, lots of sunscreen. So you can make a rose vinegar too, and that's just putting roses in distilled vinegar. You can't heat it or anything, you just leave them in there. And then I guess it draws the properties out in it. I don't think you would cook with it. I think you would probably just take it sort of like as a in a spoon or something, kind of just eat it straight. So you can't like heat it. So I don't know how else you would take it internally other than plugging your nose and shoving it down your throat without letting it touch your tongue. And there's tons of stuff you can do with roses. It's really surprising, because usually when I think of herbs, healing herbs, I go straight to my select few, and then I have to do research for more. I have some books that you just look up the ailment and it tells you what you need, what sort of herbs to use. But going straight to roses and reading about them, it's amazing how many things that people say will help you. And a lot of it's connected to different folk medicinal practices, or even when I've read things, there's different things like stuff that Culpeper has said and everything. That I know that you can use it for strengthening like your stomach and your heart, and then it's also used for headaches and liver problems and all sorts of things. And red roses are preferred. I guess they have, yeah, I've already discussed this, they have like the strongest of all the properties used for these different things. So it's a really good all-around healing herb according to folk magic. Not sure how our folk medicine. Not sure how much it's still used today in medicine. It'd be really interesting to see that. But I know that a lot of remedies are made with it. And it's interesting because it's connected to like love usually. So I wonder if it's just like they see it as like balancing something, or I wonder if that's its energy is balancing, helping balance out some icky problems you have. It's something that you should, everyone should go into and start researching these different things. It's really interesting to connect its magical properties to its medicinal ones. And I grow a lot of herbs, and I worked in a garden center for a couple of years, and and these plants. So it's cool to see, connect it to how it grows, how it's used medicinally, how it's used magically, bring them all together. It helps expand your knowledge, and it helps understand how it why it's seen as growing that way, or being used that way magically. When you've worked with it and you've grown it, and then you've researched how it's used medicinally too as well. So I recommend if you are getting into herbal magic or anything, you should try to see how it grows in your neck of the woods. Try and grow it for yourself, maybe certain things if you can, and also to research it medicinally as well. Kind of all at once. Maybe focus on one herb a day or something. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, thank you again for watching another one of my videos.